What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. In the last episode, we got through some of the investigation for Chapter 2. If you don't already know, the victim this time was Chihiro. Sadly, she's actually starting to be one of my favorite characters, but you know, that's how it be sometimes. It just wants to wants to mess with your head like that. But what can you do? All you can do is just deal with it and try to not be upset, because she started becoming your favorite character, but things just didn't work out. So it's just like, well, what do you do now? Anyways, welcome back to another episode, and we're going to go ahead and get started with the rest of the investigation and see how we do. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll do a lot better this time around than we did last time in Chapter 1, since I actually know what I'm doing now this time around. So anyways, let's go ahead and do our thing. Byakuya? About that Genocide Jack case file. Could you let me see it?
That's fine.
Well, you didn't beg, but I guess it's okay this time. Feel free to look at it in here, but you can't take it. You can't take it with you. Byakuya handed me the file, and I flipped through it with tense, nervous fingers. Suddenly, my hand stopped. I had reached a page with photos from the scene of each crime had all been collected. The names of Genocide Jack's victims ran on for several pages. Ken Harada, 32, Tetsuhiro Honda, 17, Shoji Gaku, 23, Kano Issei, 14, Takeshi Yoshida, 30. Komatsuna Taro, Takefumi Gono, Oshida Naohisa, Takeshi Masamune, Yuto Yumihima. There was no end to it. But one thing became perfectly clear as I read. All of the killer's countless victims were killed and suspended in exactly the same way. At the scene of every murder, the word bloodlust was left in the victim's own blood. Now take a look at the next page and you'll find another interesting tidbit. The next page. Profiling results. All the crimes took place either on weekdays, at night, or during holidays, either day or night. The most common time for the killings to take place was on holidays in the afternoon. Based on these facts, it could be suggested that the suspect may be a student. Evidence suggests that the suspects lingered at the scene, but when they did leave, they were in a panic. Because an eyewitness has never come forward, it's unlikely there was any external reason for this. This confused behavior suggests that the suspect may potentially suffer from dissociative identity disorder.
So in other words,
the key point here is that the culprit may well have a split personality. Split personality? Like the kind of thing you see on TV? Some part of another totally unbelievable story. But this one is way more unbelievable than anything else up till now. Or maybe it really isn't. I don't know. I feel like my mind has gone numb. Alright, with that we got the Genocide Jack case file. It's been added to the truth bullets. Alright, we should get going soon. Huh? Where are we going? Anywhere but here. We finished our business here, haven't we? Oh wait, Byakuya? As usual, Byakuya turned and left without another word, hurried out of the library to catch up. Well, this is where we part ways. I have some things I need to take care of before the class trial. Huh? Just all of a sudden like that?
I don't have time to
Come on, enough of your annoying misapprehensions. Did you really think we'd be together the whole time? Take responsibility for yourself and do something useful. Move the investigation forward on your own.
Goodbye.
And just like that, he was gone. Just as quickly as he's asked me to join him, he'd cut me off. In the end, I felt like I was some plaything getting tossed around. At the same time, I'd uncover some really important clues thanks to him. Genocide Jack, he's the one that killed Chihiro, and that murderous fiend is one of us. But who is it? I have to find that out no matter what it takes. And to do that, there's somewhere I have to go, investigate one more time. I have to go back to this crime scene, the girls' locker room. I should check the boys' locker room too. And the others might have come up with some info I might find useful while I'm at it. I need to find out everything I can. Alright, let's find out everything we can. The mic was muted. My B. But I had what I was saying just now. I had to yesterday. I was trying to stream last night, but I couldn't because I was so tired. Because like all day I was like trying to get all the things I needed for this final setup that I want. My setup is not final just yet, but it's gonna be there soon. I hope. But I did that all day yesterday because I was off of work, which was a perfect time to do it. So I did all of that, but now we're good. We got everything we need. I got 3 monitors. The third one's not working right now because I don't have the cable that necessary for it just yet. It should be coming in tomorrow. But let's do it. Hifumi Yamada, what's up, dude? Ding ding ding. Hifumi has discovered evidence revealing the identity of the culprit.
I feel as if...
Another stat increase for me. Okay, they said split personality. Does he have a split personality? I don't think so. I think Toko's the one that has split personality, really. So I'm really thinking that Toko might be it. But who knows? Evidence. Evidence, what did you find? What did you find? I cannot reveal that just yet. But I guarantee that what I found will steal the killer's breath from his lungs. Are you sure about that? Oh yeah, Miss Lunenburg said she'd witnessed something worthwhile too. Really? What did she see?
Well,
She refused to tell me. It's like when a girl bullies a boy she likes, right? Right? Okay, so, where's Celeste now? The warehouse by the dorms? She was there, but at the same time not there. What's it gonna be? Okay, sorry, I was making sure my stuff was good. Because I have it on my phone, because I don't have the third screen yet. I have it on both my phone and on the screen, my main screen right now. But yeah. Okay. That was you. See what's up. But yeah, like I was saying before, I was trying to stream last night, but I was so tired, so I just stopped the stream entirely. It was only like 17 minutes, so I didn't really get far. And I stopped recording also, so I just decided to re-record that part. But other than that, I didn't get further than this part right here, so it's all good. Everything is still blind. My roommate's actually awake now. She's actually making some eggs for herself. I had some eggs earlier. I did have a vlog earlier, so it's pretty cool, pretty nice. Huh? This poster. It's a popular boy band called Tornado. Somehow it doesn't quite seem to fit in the boys' locker room. It seems that way. Boy band, boys' locker room. I mean, I guess it's not too weird. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, back at the pool. Anything worthwhile over here? Doesn't seem like it. Alright, in that case, let's go ahead and head on back to the girls' locker room and go see Chihiro's lifeless body. I'm still upset to say that. I don't want to. I think there might be more to find. Like what? What more is there to find? This is one of the monitors my camera appears on right now. Punish me. Camera right here, maybe? I'll use these cameras to watch people die. As much as it gets on my nerves, I better leave it alone. Oh, I didn't see this. Okay. What's this? There's a strange stain on the carpet. What is it? Boys' locker room carpet has been added to the truth bullets section of your handbook. Nice. Okay. So I think we're good. We're good here now. Yeah. Let's head on back to the girls' locker room and see if there's anything new there. Man. I don't like this. I don't like seeing her lifeless body right there. It's sad. I feel the life draining out of my own body. It's a dead body. Chihiro's dead body.
Damn.
Chihiro's presence here was especially weak. Her body and her soul.
No forgiveness.
To target such a helpless being, it's unforgivable. What a wretched beast to do such a thing. I cannot forgive this. Man. The word bloodlust is written on the wall in blood. Just like in all those other genocide Jack cases. Every crime scene, the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. Is there anything new that we haven't seen before? I don't think so. I think we've seen everything else before, earlier. Big bloodstained dumbbell. Yeah. Dumbbell has to be the murder weapon. Bloodstain on the carpet can only have been caused by Chihiro's murder. Okay, let's see what Mondo has to say. Dude had a real complex about being weak. You heard Chihiro talk about it, right? All I need to get stronger. Yeah, I do remember she said that more than once. Sure did, which I guess explains the trip down here. But did she really need to get stronger that badly? You already mentioned it, but she was a girl after all. Most girls aren't all that strong. I don't know, man. I haven't really thought about that stuff. Chihiro's complex, where did it come from? Hey Kyoko, have you made any progress on your investigation? Generally speaking.
However,
but I have to get going. I have something unrelated to take care of. Something besides the investigation? What is it?
well,
Nothing you need to worry about. Just concentrate on the murder. But
so then,
before I go, let me give you one piece of advice. You should examine Chihiro's body one more time thoroughly. Also, her handbook is missing. You might want to determine its whereabouts.
goodbye.
That's it. I'll be praying for your success. With that, Kyoko turned and left the girls' locker room. Guess I'll take another look at the body then. And Chihiro's handbook is missing? That's definitely worth worrying about. Alright, Chihiro's e-handbook has been added to the truth bullets section of your handbook. Okay. Bloodstained poster to blood is the most noteworthy part, but the big-breasted swimsuit model is pretty noticeable too. A girl's locker room doesn't seem like the kind of place you'd find something like this. Oh, but wait. That reminds me. The poster in the other locker room is... Oh! That's right. There's definitely something strange about this. In the boys' locker room, there's a poster of a popular boy band. In the girls' locker room, there's a poster of a big-breasted swimsuit model. Could the poster have been switched? But if there were, why? What reason would anyone have? Maybe I should talk to someone who knows a little more about the locker rooms. 2 locker room posters. Okay. Yeah, I knew that was weird. Like how the boy band was in the boys' locker room. That's so okay. It's weird. Let's examine her body one more time. Kyoko said I should examine the body one more time. I know she said thoroughly, but I do have my limits. Well, I better give it a shot anyway. Let's see. Chihiro's hands are bound with what looked like some kind of rope. The rope was used to prop her up in a kind of crucifix position. Huh? The rope has a plug? Wait, so then this isn't a rope at all. But the more I think about it, the more that's not the only thing that concerns me. Chihiro's fatal injury was the blow to the head, which means someone struck her in the head in order to kill her. That's right. There's the issue of her being suspended in the fatal blow. At first, I didn't see any reason to think too much about either of them. But seeing them again after looking through the Genocide Jack files, something's not quite right. Welcome to the stream if you just joined. What does this all mean? Status of the dead body has been added to the truth bullets section of your handbook. Well, the one thing most likely to tie all these mysteries together is the true nature of the rope that was used to suspend Chihiro. And to figure that out, there's a certain place I need to revisit to look over again. Plus, it might help to look at the Genocide Jack case file one more time. Alright, so where do we head to next? Welcome to the stream if you have just joined. Let's see, we were talking to everybody here. So where else could we go? Oh, okay. We could go see Aoi and Celeste, see if they have any news about anything. Okay. Door leads out to the pool. Oh. Alright, let's leave the girls' locker room. I think we've discovered everything we could discover. Okay, but where do we go next, though? There's a certain place that we need to revisit. I'm sure there must still be more or less waiting for me to discover. Okay. Anything at all? There are a bunch of different pool-related items on the shelf. Don't seem to be any kind of clues left. Okay. Is that a real gun? Why is there something like that here? It's dangerous and it also has nothing to do with the case. Okay. The girl's locker room card reader, but the door's unlocked now, so it's kind of pointless. Okay. There's this lifeboat right here. Not lifeboat, but I don't think this flotation donut holds any clues to the case. Okay. Surveillance camera. Okay. Okay, does it mean like in general? Or what does it mean by that? So must be more left to discover. Not in that specific room, but there has to be more in here, I guess. Anything worth looking at again? Shouldn't we go out to the pool then? Or no? Certain place that we need to revisit. There's still more here. So it has to be the pool, right? Or do we have to come back here? Anything else here worth looking at, or no? Doesn't seem like it. Okay. Okay, we can go out to the pool here, but we can't go out to the pool there. So there has to be something here, right? Maybe there's some kind of clue in the lockers. Guess not. Okay. Maybe something over here worth looking at? Nothing. I didn't look at it as this, but there's nothing here. I'm so confused. What have we not looked at? We already looked at that earlier. Is something else in the girls' locker room, maybe? Or is it something specifically in here? Or do we have to talk to Heath and me again? We probably have to talk to Hifumi again, don't we? Yeah, let's go ahead and talk to Hifumi. I'm pretty sure that's what we have to do, right? or is it something I'm missing? He probably knows something about the posters, maybe. Ding ding ding! Hifumi has discovered evidence revealing identical. Oh no, it's the same thing. Sure, there must be still more left waiting for me to discover. But what? What do you mean? What more is there to look at? I already looked at this. That here. It's not the camera. What the heck? What am I supposed to be looking at? I'm so confused. I've looked at every single thing, haven't I? Well, obviously not, I haven't. Okay, it has to be something in the girls' locker room then. Okay, let's see. Look at Chihiro's body again, maybe? Go to the head. Oh, okay, here we go. But seeing them again after looking through Genocide Jack's file, something's not quite right. Suspended and Fatal Blow. At first, I didn't see any reason to think too much about either of them, but seeing them... Okay, there we go. What does this all mean? I can't stop thinking about the rope that was used to suspend Chihiro. There's a certain place I need to revisit and look over again. We'll look at the case file one more time too. Okay. Not presents. Let's look at the case file then. Victim was Chihiro Fujisaki. The time of death is estimated to be around 2 a.m. Body was discovered in the girls' locker room on the second floor of the school. Cause of death was a blow to the head with a blunt object. She was killed instantly. Suspected genocide Jack victims include Ken Harada, Tatsuhiro Honda, and Shoji Gaku, among countless of others. They were killed in the same way and mounted to a nearby wall. The word bloodlust was found at the scene of each crime, written in blood. Profiling indicates that the killer is likely a student suffering from a split personality. Okay. Just like in all those other genocide Jack cases. Every crime scene, the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. I don't understand. I've looked at everything, haven't I? They're gonna say the same thing, right?
Of course.
Oh, here we go. Use it nearly every day once it opened up. Sometimes he and I use it together. Okay, then let me ask you something. Do you think the posters in the boys and girls' locker rooms could have been switched?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I can't really say. I never really paid any attention to the posters. I see.
However,
But there is something that's been bothering me about the locker room. You see, I like to drink a little protein coffee every time I finish exercising. Wait, we have protein? We have protein coffee? In the warehouse. It's not the highest quality, but I don't have a lot of other options. I mix protein powder with coffee and down a glass of it after exercising. Anyway, the other day I spilled some on the carpet. I spilled some on the carpet in the girls' locker room, and it left a stain. But wait. Okay, the posters were switched somehow. She says she spilled some coffee in the girls' locker room, but there's a coffee stain in the boys' locker room. So were those somehow switched in a way, or a stain? I don't see any stain on the carpet now.
of course.
Exactly, I noticed earlier. The stain has disappeared. I can only assume someone came along and cleaned it up. But still, isn't it unusually clean? As if there was never a stain here to begin with. Disappearing stain has been added to the truth bullets. Okay. I think we're good now. Okay. Yeah, let's leave the area. Where do we head to next? Let's see, maybe we can head back to the library. See if there's anything here. According to this letter, Hope's Peak Academy had stopped functioning as a school. Didn't even happen recently, apparently it closed over a year ago. Which explains why there aren't any other students here, because it's not a real school. And then there's the serious issues that forced the school to close down in the first place. Is there any connection between that and what's happening to us now? Mastermind's motive, if we can figure out why. Who has died so far? The characters that have died so far has been Sayaka, Junko, Leon, and most recently Chihiro. Those are all the characters that have died. Will that be enough to get us out of here? Or... let's see, probably something in here we can look at. This report on presidential assassination is really intriguing, but if it means I become a target, nope, I'll leave it where it is. Thank you very much. Okay. It's a document about the secret council revealing the kind of truth a commoner shouldn't go near. So I guess it better not. I want to take another look at the Genocide Jack's case file. No one's around here somewhere. Huh? It's gone. Someone take it out of the archive? But the only one who would do something like that... I can't think of anyone but Byakuya. Byakuya? We have to find him then. Okay, let's see. Let's look for where he might be. He's on the archive. He's nowhere there. Could he be in his room maybe? Doesn't seem like it. Where is he? I mean, guess it doesn't hurt to go look at his room anyway. Clue here? Guess not. There's still more I need to check. Okay, let's check everything in here so far. Okay. The wooden box is empty. The extension cord was in there before. The desk lamp. Byakuya grabbed that one thing from over here and put it over here, there. Sure, it's dark over there. Anything else we need to look at? Okay, well, guess nothing else is in the archive. Okay. There's a thick layer of dust on top of the desk. Maybe just some kind of clue here. Guess not. The shelf is tacked tight with books, but looking at some kind of clue here? No. Okay. Surveillance camera. Mastermind must have know what happened. They're still forcing us to go through it. Picked out with books. Some kind of clue? No. Oh, here we go. Huh? The lamp won't turn on. Oh, I see. It's not plugged in. Lamp cord isn't long enough to reach the outlet from here. But last time I saw it, it was definitely on. And it was definitely right here. Oh, that's right. Byakuya was using an extension cord. But there's no extension cord here now. Oh, okay. So that extension cord was used to tie Chihiro up onto the, or tied her up to suspender. Oh man. Library desk lamp has been added to truth bullets. Dang, okay. Okay, where do we go to next? Okay, where haven't we been to? Okay, let's go ahead and check the warehouse, I guess. Okay. Can we even go in here? Oh yeah, we can, okay. It's one of the monitors Monica appears on. There's all kinds of stuff piled up everywhere. Towels, jackets, looks like they've put together a good collection of school equipment. Oh, I didn't mean to talk to her, but oh well. Celeste, what are you doing here? This warehouse is amazing. It has absolutely everything one might need to live a full life. From food to clothes to towels. There's an endless supply to choose from. I see that, but have you found anything related to the case?
Most unfortunate.
I knew you were going to ask me that. I thought talking about the warehouse myself might misdirect you, but I see it's pointless. Okay, my voice definitely changed for her. My voice was definitely different for her. Forgot what it was. Then you did find something. Very well, I will tell you, and only you.
Actually,
Last night I saw her here. Chihiro was in the warehouse. What, really?
indeed.
This was right before nighttime.
What are you doing out this late?
Oh, I was just...
Are you planning to go exercise, perhaps?
What? How did you know?
Because I can see a blue track jacket sticking out of that duffel bag you're carrying.
Oh, you're right. Thanks. Well, I'd better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
Yes, indeed.
I assumed she was merely stocking up to go exercise in the morning, but it would appear to have ignored the nighttime rule and headed directly to the girls' locker room. If she hadn't broken our rule, none of this ever would have happened. You get what you deserve, I suppose. So apparently, she went to the girls' locker room late at night in order to exercise without anyone knowing. But the strange thing is, there's no trace of a track jacket or duffel bag Celeste she said she was holding. Which would mean the killer would have gotten rid of it somehow. Celeste's account, okay, perfect. Alright. 111 Noodles. Are you a fan of the Danganronpa series? There's all kinds of stuff piled up everywhere. I don't see anything noteworthy. There's all different kinds of food stacked up. I don't see anything noteworthy. Okay. There's a camera in here. Is this Fritz Saika mentioned? I don't see anything noteworthy here. Okay. Well, I guess we're done here. Let's go see what Aoi has to say. Oh, Hina, how's Toka doing? Same as before, she won't come out, and she just keeps on mumbling something about Genocide Jack. So I just left her there. You left her? My head was all swimmy, and I was getting pretty hungry.
Yeah!
Oh, but don't worry, I'm gonna head back as soon as I'm done eating. Togo's not exactly pleasant, but I'm still worried about her. Speaking of which, what are you eating? A donut, of course. Of course. There's two things I'm sure God created, outer space and donuts. Really? I bet Chihiro would have liked to eat more donuts. Maybe that was her one big regret. I should have tried to spend more time with her. Come to think of it, who did she spend time with? She spent time. I know we spent time with her. like once or twice. We hung out with Chihiro.
Well,
Yeah, she was a little bit strange. Didn't really hang out with the other girls much. It was like she was trying to keep her distance from us. Actually, Sakura said something earlier, similar. She said that even though you and her invited Chihiro to exercise with you, she always refused.
yeah, totally.
Yep, it's true. And it wasn't just us either. It was like she stayed away from all the girls. Was she just shy? I don't know. She talked to the boys all the time. Isn't it kind of weird to be shy around your own sex? But totally fine with the opposite sex. Oh wait, maybe. Maybe she was used to guys spoiling her. The law says you can't judge a book by its cover, right? You think so? I never really saw her as that kind of girl. Aoi's account. Oh, here we go.
I'm getting tired of waiting. Shall we just plunge right in? It's the moment you've all been waiting for.
Okay, let's do it.
The class trial. You remember where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
Begin the class trial or about to begin? The red door is right through here. Alright, let's do it. I think we'll do a better job this time around compared to the first chapter, since we actually know what we're doing now. So, let's go ahead and save on over that. And see what happens. Let's head on in. So, is everyone ready to... What? Am I blind or are we missing someone?
Yo.
Yeah, Toko's not here. And Toko is... You really don't remember?
Come on.
Kidding, I'm just kidding. How could I forget that little nut job? She's a crucial part of the class trial this time.
What are you gonna do?
Okie dokie, I'll go ahead and drag her out here and kicking and screaming. Just one moment, please. And just like he said, a few minutes later, she reappeared, dragging Toko right behind him. I told him I didn't want to, but he forced me. I can't believe he would drag a girl around. Terrible. You're terrible. Phew, so now everyone's here, right? Okay then, hustle on to the elevator and let's get this show on the road. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
So, shall we get going? It's time to find out who killed Chihiro. Chihiro Fujisaki. She was so gentle, so calm and meek. Nobody had any problems with her. Someone made the choice to kill a girl like that. And that murderer is one of us. Someone standing right here. I feel like it's gonna be Toko. She seems to be the one that has the split personality. She'd be really nice. Like that one glimpse that we saw of it. Like she was like really confident in what she was saying. Like she wasn't stuttering or anything like that. She was really confident, but then she went back to her stuttering. So I feel like it's probably gonna go towards Toko, but we could be completely wrong. Anyways, let's talk to everybody before we do this.
Hey, come on.
Fucking Toko, man. What's got her so worked up? I don't know why the killer did what they did, but I'm sure it'll work itself out. Justice always prevails, right, bro? You ready? We doing this?
Well then.
I will uncover the villain who performed such heinous acts on a weaker individual.
Shall we go?
Shall we begin?
How very
Miss Fujisaki,
sad.
I must admit, for being 3D, she was quite remarkable. Of course, just the idea of 3D makes me cringe. I gave you plenty to work with. Show us how far your logic can take you. I guess I wasn't much help at all on this one. I think your account will come in handy. There is something odd about Toko's behavior. I do not think mere shock is enough to explain it. Alright, well. Okay, let's save again real quick, and then let's get this show on the road. Alright. Let's head on in. We have no choice, right? We have to do this.
True.
Yes. Gave a small nod in reply. With one last deep breath, I walked toward the elevator on shaky legs. With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. As soon as everyone was on, the elevator began to descend. I couldn't get a handle on my emotions, couldn't stop speculating. Okay. The steel box sank with heavy clunking sounds deeper and deeper into the ground. And as we went deeper, the uneasiness in my heart grew bigger and bigger. The elevator was unaffected, however, and continued to descend without hesitation. Until finally, it came to a sudden stop. What do you think? I redecorated. Isn't it so fresh? Isn't it so exciting? Don't waste our time with stupid questions. Let's get this over with.
Very nice.
Good. You're raring to go. I gotta say, you don't hate it. Not at all.
Well,
Okay then, let's get this show on the road.
thrills, chills,
Everyone,
chills.
please find your assigned seats. And so, the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith. A deadly class trial. Alright, let's do it. Okay, do we have any more skills that we got? Yes, we do. Okay. Lost in Thought. Increases the time limit for each phase. Effective during the class trial. Costs 3 SP. Definitely will take that. We got plenty of SP. Vocabulary. Increases bullet capacity. The time battle, bullet time battle. It costs 4 SP. Let's use that. And I believe that's all the ones we can equip for now, since those are all the ones we've gotten. So let's go through everything once again. The truth bullets. Let's go through everything again, just to be sure we have all the information, because it has been a while since I last streamed. So this is gonna be necessary. So Monokuma file number 2. Victim was Chihiro Fujisaki. The time of death is estimated to be around 2 o'clock. The body was discovered in the girls' locker room on the second floor of the school. Cause of death was a blow to the head with a blunt object. She was killed instantly. Sakura's account. Although Chihiro wanted to get stronger, she declined several invitations from Sakura and Aoi, and may have used the locker room late at night to avoid them. Despite this, Chihiro had stated that she desired help with her efforts. She may have been meeting someone in the locker room the night she was murdered. The dumbbell found on the floor of the girls' locker room had a significant amount of blood on it. Mondo's account. Chihiro had told everyone willing to listen that she wanted to get stronger. Some assumed that due to her inferiority complex about being weak, she admired strength more than anything. Card reader. To unlock a locker room, you need to swipe your e-handbook over the card reader. You need a male student's handbook for the boys' locker room and a female student's for the girls. It is not possible for 2 people to enter at the same time. What's up, man? Oh, why, thank you. Stored in the Ludo? Find a site on my Twitch profile image. Best of luck. P.S. Danganronpa Trigger Happy. It's perfect. Okay, cool. Thanks, man. Okay. Additionally, lending someone your handbook is a violation of school regulations. Handbook of each student that has died is placed in the mailbox in the main hall. One of the handbooks found in the main hall had been broken, which is apparently a rare occurrence. Junko and Sayaka's handbooks both seem to still work, so it is assumed that the broken handbook is Leon's. However, Monokuma claims it's very unlikely that Leon's handbook would have broken. Genocide Jack case file. Suspected Genocide Jack victims include Ken Harada, Tatsuhiro Honda, and Shoji Gaku, among countless others. They were killed in the same way and mounted to a nearby wall. The word bloodlust was found at the scene of each crime, written in blood. Profiling indicates the killer is likely to student suffering from a split personality. Chihiro seems to consciously kept her distance from the other girls at the school, even from the beginning. Meanwhile, it had been noticed that she got along remarkably well with her male classmates. The carpet in the boys' locker room was found with a blackish stain on it. Blood was found in the poster in the girls' locker room. The poster featured a big-breasted supermodel popular among young boys. Meanwhile, the poster in the boys' locker room was for boy band popular with the teenage girls. Chihiro's handbook was not found on her corpse and has apparently gone missing. Chihiro's body had been suspended and her hands had been bound with some kind of rope. Her fatal injury was a blow to the head. Sakura mentioned that she was responsible for a coffee stain on the girls' locker room floor. However, the stain had since been inexplicably scrubbed away. Byakuya was known to use this lamp often. However, the extension cord has gone missing at some point and the lamp's cord couldn't quite reach the outlet. And then last but not least, on the night of the murder, right before nighttime, Chihiro was spotted leaving the warehouse. It seems she was stuffing some blue exercise clothes into a duffel bag. Presumably she was on her way to exercise, but the clothes were not found at the crime scene. Celeste had not told anyone other than Makoto about this encounter. Alright, and that's everything. Let's go ahead and save one last time. And then get this started. Whew, okay. Okay. What is it? Alright, let's do it. Alright, hopefully, for y'all on YouTube, hopefully this episode won't be too long. hopefully it won't be freaking 3 hours. 3.5 hours, but I know what we're doing now, so I think we're good. Alright, let's finish preparations and get started. Class trial. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
First, we have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. Alright, let's do it. Make your argument. Locker room dumbbell.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
Yep.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
Oh shoot, how do you do it? There we go. Oh. My bad. You think you have some proof that contradicts what I said? No, because I thought because he asked what was used, it said what was used, but whatever. It's fine.
Chihiro's
Fatal, it appears it was.
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt
Okay, here we go.
instrument could
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Nope. It was not.
No, that's wrong.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Yay! That's so creepy!
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Okay, that's not wrong, but we need to find out who Genocide Jack is. Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro? New element has been added to non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Please. For this debate, lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Your truth balls will appear if they hit these lines, so think of them as obstacles in your debate. But there is a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press the A button to attach the silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. However, if you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, the time limit will decrease, so take careful aim when you have your silencer out. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all. in which case you can forget all about the silencer and just focus on the situation in front of you. Well then, good luck and have fun. Alright, so white noise. Okay, let's do it. Genocide Jack case file.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But
Okay, that's not wrong.
That's impossible.
Why? What makes it impossible?
There we go.
Well, I mean, come on. There's just no proof for it.
Oh, no. There we go. Got it right on time. Welcome to the stream if you just joined.
I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
Bloodlust.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
The other characteristic of every Genocide Jack case, which the world at large doesn't know, if I'm not mistaken, has to do with the positioning of the body. How the victim was positioned.
I got it! Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
You lie!
What?
I mean, I want to say he's wrong, but I don't really think he is. I mean, we could be completely wrong. But like, she does have that split personality that was mentioned not too long ago because she showed it.
Hey.
But
Okay.
no,
wait,
you don't normally
hold on a sec.
assume a killer. Like that's normally always wrong. But in this case, I feel like it might be right. But I guess we'll find out as we keep going.
Toko has like bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle? Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
It's a riddle for sure, but I feel like I understand it. What it means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, but also to not be Toko. The answer is that she's not just one person, but multiple people, right? Hangman's Gambit. Alright. Oh. Nope. Shoot. Okay. This one I'm not too great at. Okay. No. There we go. Wait, that wasn't it? Dang it. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. hold on. Let's see. H-I. What would that spell? Okay, this one I'm still a bit confused about. Womp womp. Whatever. No. It's hard to think about like what that word might be. Like what will it like?
I refuse to give up yet.
Freaking fail. Fail. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. Oh, shoot. I don't know. What would it be? I'm just hitting like a whole bunch of random stuff. Let's see. Shoot. Okay. I'm so confused. What? Oh, what is that? What would that be? H-I. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna cut this for the people on YouTube because this might take a while until at least I figure it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the recording for people on YouTube. All right, we're back. So we got the first letter, which is S. So no, okay. Okay, so we have to find a letter that will spell that. Nope. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, dang! I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to go for the A. Oh, nope. Well, those on YouTube, again, give us a second. Oh my gosh, I'm not good at this.
Does Genocide Jack has a split personality?
All right, for those of you on YouTube, I finally got it. It was schizophrenic, so it's schizo. For those of you on YouTube.
Huh?
Okay. Oh my gosh, Stanberry, that took me like a good 7 tries. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I think I read that somewhere in the file too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
The one thing that shows Toko could have a split personality has to do with her behavior. Her behavior changed.
You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual,
Oh,
right?
my bad, Steph. Oh my gosh. I'm trying my best here. I love these types of games, but like, oh my gosh, they're so like difficult when it comes to logic. That's why I'm so glad I'm not playing this on the max difficulty you can play it on. Like if I were doing that, it would be so bad. Literally my first case was like when I recorded it for my YouTube channel. That episode was 3.5 hours long because I kept messing up one simple thing, and it was terrible.
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
I'm fine. Whoa, is that a dead body? Hey, are you dead? She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. The world has a front and back, and top ending and a bottom, a sea of truth and a web of lies. This is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
I won't let Genocide Jack have control. I'll drive out the killer, drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
Oh, okay. Alright, that makes sense.
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time.
Oh, wow.
And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised! I can't believe you lied!
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale.
Damn.
Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise,
I'm sorry, I couldn't keep our promise. But don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that. But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it,
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person? You don't mean...
Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second... Oh my god!
Hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
Oh my god!
So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko, that's a loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
So intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
This is a murderous fiend, Genocide Jack? This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you, I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
Oh my god.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Oh, really? I knew it.
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster!
Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. What she said. I need to get some more details about all this. Alright, make your argument. Let's do it. Status of the dead body.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need? Give it up. You killed her.
Okay. Okay, I have to just focus on remembering Chihiro's body. That must have been the answer. That should prove that what he said isn't quite right. Okay.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi,
I think what
that would change things.
Byakuya said
An alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
is wrong.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
It didn't.
No, that's wrong. Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you!
Oh, jeez.
I murder with passion and conviction.
Yeah. Genocide Jack or Jill uses scissors or something to crucify the body, but that's not what was used in Chihiro's death. It was an extension cord.
I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
There's one clear difference between the murders. In the photos of the other Genocide Jack cases, look at the neck and stomach. Here you'll see a clear difference. Victim's fatal injury.
For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors.
Yeah.
But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
That's right. The second difference is related to how she was suspended. In the photos of the other Genocide Jack cases, all the other victims were stabbed through their heads. Here you'll see a clear difference. When she was suspended, how the body was posed. How the body was posed? Wait, positioning of her body is different from the others. Hold on, if you look at the picture in the file, Chihiro's pose is essentially the same as well as the other victims, wouldn't you say? The assertion is weak, to say the least. I see.
Shoot!
It's like, just embarrassed myself. Oh, yikes. Got that one heart left. Okay. Okay, here you'll see a clear difference. What was used? Yeah.
Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Oof.
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out,
The
and
age-
it'll
the
be
age
plain
gap.
as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Let's see. There's patterns around each Genocide Jack victim, and Chihiro didn't fit it. If you look at the names of every victim, what you'll notice is, I think I figured it out. I know why she couldn't have to kill Chihiro. No, Chihiro was a girl.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
I thought it was the age gap, but I guess not. Ken Harada, Tatsuhiro Honda, Shoji, Kano, Takeshi, Koyamatsu, Takefumi, Ushida, Takeshi, Yuto. There's no end to it.
They were all guys?
Yeah, that's what it was.
The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men. I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed.
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it. I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lolly cur!
Lowly cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class, envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
Oh. Oh, jeez. That ain't creepy.
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you, gutter dogs, all of you! Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway.
Oh my gosh.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Actually, hold on. There is one person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases. Select someone. Byakuya? Because it had to have been Byakuya. Because Byakuya is the only one. Him and myself were the only ones that had the Genocide Jack case file. And we already know Makoto wouldn't do it. So it has to be Byakuya.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
There it is.
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it! The adorable glasses man was behind it all! Oh, I'm on
Oh my gosh.
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me.
Yep.
Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back.
And thinking about it now,
It was like when he asked me to help him out on this, right?
the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
The locker rooms. They're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed, wouldn't you agree? Huh? Suspicious? Since nobody searched locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room. Oh.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
There's a clear contradiction in what Byakuya just said. I need to make it clear to everyone. A new element has been added to the non-stop debates. Yes. Next, we're going to add something called a truth flashback. If you aim at a weak spot and hold down the Y button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. This memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from the truth cylinder. However, you can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answer to a lie or contradiction in your load of truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use it to make your case. When's the best time to flashback? Well, you'll just have to use your keen wits, won't you? In this case, though, I will say if you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl.
So of course I would suggest we
check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Okay. Hearing Byakuya's comment about Chihiro being a girl, I realized there's a clear contradiction there. Because it doesn't make any sense how he could have known before we even found it. Okay, I need to make that contradiction clear.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Yeah.
But he was acting weird...
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's a natural...
The victim was Chihiro,
who was a girl.
Oh, I don't know why I did that.
Shoot!
Okay.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's a
Okay.
natural...
The victim was Chihiro,
Yeah.
so of course I would... There was no time for... What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Okay.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found
No,
the body.
why did I do that? Come on, Makoto, don't scare me like that. Makes me think something weird is going on.
Shoot!
Oh my gosh, okay.
So, you said Byakuya was acting
Yeah.
kind of weird, but he was acting weird.
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's a natural.
The victim was Chihiro, so of course I would suggest we check. There was no time for. What's so strange about?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Oh man, this one's confusing.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Okay.
But he was acting weird.
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely. That's a natural reaction for any.
The victim was Chihiro,
Who was a girl.
so of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Okay.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird. How?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room, that's a natural.
The victim was Chihiro, so of course.
Wait, let me go through this again. So, when it comes down to the truth cylinder. Carry a weak spot and then hold down the Y button. You can use that weak spot as a temporary truth bullet. Later in the argument, these flashback bullets will disappear as soon as you use them or switch to another truth bullet. Okay. So what exactly? Okay, victim was Chihiro.
There was no time for. What's so strange? I wish you'd taken me with you.
Okay.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting.
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls, that's a natural reaction.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl, so of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distraction. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Oh wait, I think.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before, but he was acting.
If you're presented
think
with the
I
opportunity,
know what
that's
we're
a
supposed
natural.
to do.
The victim was
Chihiro.
Maybe.
Who was a girl.
So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Oh, okay. I think I see what we're supposed to do.
You said Byakuya was acting kind of weird, but he was acting.
If you're presented
I think we're supposed to use this as a truth flashback,
Was Chihiro.
Who was a girl. So
and
of
then
course
shoot
I would
it
suggest there was no
toward
time. What's so
Aoi's thing.
Taking me with you.
Yeah, I think that's what we're supposed to do here.
So, you said
Yeah.
Byakuya was acting kind of weird.
Wait,
before
what?
we found the body.
What? I'm so confused. What? How are you supposed to... I'm so confused on how the whole truth stuff works. Yes.
I refuse to give up yet.
Oh, okay. I think... Okay, never mind. No, I know what I'm doing now. Okay. I think we're supposed to highlight Aoi's thing.
You said Byakuya was acting
Yeah, we're supposed to do
kind of
that.
weird before we found the body.
And then we shoot it towards
But he was
Byakuya's.
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's a natural.
Yeah.
The victim was Chihiro.
Yeah, there we
Who
go.
was a
Here we go.
What's wrong?
Okay, now I remember how that works.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must
Took a little
admit.
bit, but we got it.
Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with
What's the
him.
matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
Differences between this case and other Genocide Jack murders. The evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is hidden in there. What could it be? Okay. Alright. Library desk lamp.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Oh, pff. My bad.
Shoot!
Okay. Okay, you know what? I should really stop trying to do it on the first try.
You want me to explain? When I want to kill, I use my bare and I use those same scissors.
But Chihiro was... It was some kind of...
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very...
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you...
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Sure you didn't.
Obviously,
Shoot.
somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
Yeah, no, I know what it is. Found with was used like a rope, but was it actually a rope? It's a very specific object. Okay.
What? The difference between the... You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended. It was some kind of...
That's right! Then there must be something very fishy.
Hey, Byakuya.
I'd never seen that
Rope before in my life.
Oh shoot.
Obviously,
Stupid
somebody
white noise
else
got in the
must have
way.
had it hidden away somewhere.
Okay.
What? The difference? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my... And I use those same scissors to arrange the...
But Chihiro... It was some kind of...
That's right! It absolutely...
Then there must be something very...
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you...
I'd never seen that rope before.
Before in my life.
There we go.
No, that's wrong. Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. Maybe he's not even involved. Wait, not even
What's
involved?
wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait, what was that just now? Something's not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean... Can I really just accept that what Byakuya said is the truth, or as the truth? No, I don't think so. There's definitely something off about what he said. The scene of the crime. The posters, right?
You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene?
Mm-hmm.
That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Hey Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? When story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who'd been so confident up until now, maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. There's something that was switched between the boys and the girls' locker room. The posters. Yeah, this one.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is... the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was... a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Oh my gosh,
Meanwhile,
Toko.
the boys' locker room had... a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved. No, you've got it all wrong. Just calm down and think about it carefully. Because we have been more wrong. I'm ashamed I wasted any time listening to you.
Shoot!
So I embarrass myself in front of everyone, okay. It was moved. Okay, I had to look at the other one. Where is it? Here we go.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think? What? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, The blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gotten to the boys' locker room somehow? Okay. Make your argument? Okay. Broken e-handbook.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook.
No. Okay, I gotta stop doing that. Oh my gosh, I have to stop doing that. Okay, I just gotta go through it first before I make any decisions.
Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys'...
Okay.
I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate programmer.
Oh yeah, it's true.
I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
Oh, let's try to remember that just in case.
If she had that, she could get into the boys' locker room no problem.
Theoretically, if Chihiro was able to use Leon's handbook, she could get into the boys' locker room. But when we found Leon's handbook in the main hall, there's no doubt that it was. In which case, can we really say that she used it?
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten in?
I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook.
This maybe? Nope. Okay.
Shoot!
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have got...
I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have been...
No, I don't think she used the thing that was in the...
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
Here we go.
No, that's wrong. No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Oh my
Of
gosh.
course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room, and Byakuya's the one who did it? Really? But still, I don't know what else to do.
Hold on a second.
What else I can do?
I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the... You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Oh? In the next episode, for y'all on YouTube, in the next episode, we'll find out what Kyoko is talking about. I'm trying to avoid making the class trial episodes like over more than 2 hours long, because this one's almost about to hit 2 hours. So in the next episode of Danganronpa, we'll finish off the class trial and start chapter 3. So thank y'all so very much for watching this episode of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, and I'll see y'all next time.